Hi, Lisa. You're muted. Use the whiteboard.
Huh?
I could use the whiteboard on this. There's a whiteboard that you could pull up, and what people are saying, I could type it in.
Oh, cool. All right, I'm gonna take a walk, and then when I'm done with the walk, I'm gonna stop there. Should I pick up dinner or make? Oh, we're gonna make what we have.
We have food.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, love you.
Love you too.
Hello, Heidi. It's Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
So far, so good.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
And you? You look well.
Yeah, thank you. We're doing okay. I had a bout of bronchitis last week, which was not fun, but doing
It's like,
okay.
do you go to the doctor or not? Right?
I called the doctor, and I have a history of having bronchitis.
Oh, okay.
So, he just went through the list of all the symptoms that I usually have. And we knew it was bronchitis right away. And then he put me on antibiotics and Mucinex and steroids, and I was fine.
At least you knew, because it's like,
Right.
all right, I don't
Right.
feel well. How bad do I feel?
Right.
Not
Right.
bad enough.
Absolutely. And you're feeling okay?
Yeah, I'll turn on my video for a few.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Well, I'm gray hair. Everybody else.
I just colored mine.
Did
Yeah,
you?
all by myself.
I went when I last shopped. The dark colors were all gone. So my mother was salt and pepper when she lived. She lived to 85. She was never all gray.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
I don't think it looks all that gray from. I think it's still, I don't have that line down the middle.
No, I had that right down here, but I don't see gray in your hair at all right now.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm very thankful for. And this, it doesn't show. So.
Mrs. Klein.
Yeah.
How are you? I think you're muted.
Oh.
No, there she is.
Hi, Naomi. You have to turn your mic on.
You have to turn your
Naomi.
mic on. Hi.
Hi, Ruth.
Ruth, your mic is muted.
You know, you can turn people's mics on if you want, Heidi.
I can't because I'm not really the host.
Oh, you're not really the host? Okay.
Yeah, so Jennifer's gonna come on and make me the host or something, but
Okay.
it's fine. It's fine. Hi, Wendy. I'm gonna want people to talk. Not all at once, but I want this to be interactive.
Oh, really? Because I'm gonna turn off my video in a little bit.
That's perfectly fine. Whatever's comfortable.
You know.
Okay.
Now I'm
The kitchen.
Naomi, if you look to your left, does it show that your mic is muted? No? So maybe you should leave the meeting and sign in again, because everybody can hear me, right?
Yes.
Everybody else? Right, and I could hear everybody. So Naomi, hi Ron, maybe you should leave the meeting and then come back in again. Or refresh.
And there's Ron.
Hi, Ron.
Oh,
And I muted Ron too. Normally we have to tell people, please mute.
Right. Not everyone's all muted.
right.
This is where we left off, Heidi.
This
Yep.
is where we left off, but it looks to me like things are going to be a little bit better this time. You know, the truth is technology was not ready for the whole world to use every single platform 24/7.
Right.
At the same time.
So it is what it is. We just have to, I think the word of the year so far is flexibility.
It went screwy when everybody went to mass.
That mask thing is something else.
Ruth, how is Phil doing?
He's doing pretty good now. It was a very good week of people
That is
coming,
good.
being on there. 130
He
people.
needs energies.
Much
He needs
fun.
energies.
He's doing okay.
Yeah. I'll get his address from my cousin.
Okay. Thank you.
That's how I found out.
That's how. Well, the shul knew about it. They announced it at some point.
Yeah, Bernie sent me the information and I forwarded it to Jennifer.
It was a whole week, at 8 o'clock in the morning and 7:15 at night. For a whole week. Yeah.
Now, did he want to go to Florida? Because my nieces went.
No, he couldn't get there. He couldn't get there in time. It was the next morning. It was Erev Shabbat, and there was no. They had to do it very early in the morning. He couldn't make it in time.
Because my nieces, you know, they had the funeral on Wednesday. He
Yeah.
died on Sunday. They had the funeral on Wednesday. My nieces went.
Well, maybe
They found a flight.
it was Erev Shabbat, and they didn't have
Yeah.
They didn't have the people that would do it for him.
That's what happens when you're a rabbi.
Well, he had to go according to their.
What you believe in.
Yeah. But
So,
it was a very meaningful week.
how are they doing, Ruth?
They're doing okay. They're doing okay.
Okay, Naomi, now see on your left-hand side, see if there's a mute button. Because you're still muted.
Now, she might.
So
you
Zoom
might
is
need to move
working
your
now.
cursor first, and so you get a bottom bar.
Naomi, just do a thumbs up
Turn
if
off
you can
the
hear
mute
me.
button, So now you won't hear my
Oh,
complaint.
now, yay, we can hear you.
Hear me. You know, my eyes are so bad and this is so small.
It is small.
What's so small? Who is computer? Turn off your sound. Oh, I'll be right back.
Muted in the
Yeah,
one.
they will hear me. They will hear me. I'm muted now. Turn off your sound. Okay, good. That's it. Turn it
So
off.
why is there an echo?
You could put it on vibrate.
Okay, now it's okay.
Am I the only male?
No, Lenny is on.
No, I'm here.
Louis here with me, but he's got on the computer and he hasn't got a camera and we have to use my phone with it.
Wow.
Eileen, you haven't changed a bit.
Whose cute little doggies are those?
Just little doggies.
Oh, there's some.
Something for us to look at. Everybody all of a sudden started smiling.
Yes, they're so cute.
I need another book to put behind my.
So we're just gonna wait a couple, it's 4:01. We'll just wait a couple of more minutes
Okay.
and then I'll start.
Put it behind. So it stopped. It holds it. Okay, so that's good. Oh, sure. I need something.
You need something in front.
An ashtray or something.
Oh, Roberta.
A cup
Yes. Sometimes I see you, sometimes I don't.
Who's
Naomi.
that?
Naomi.
Naomi?
Yeah, with a
Hi.
very, I have to turn this thing.
Well,
See if that helps.
previous to using my cell phone, I was using my computer.
Uh-huh.
You could only, you couldn't see me and I couldn't get voice, so I had to do it through my telephone.
Right.
Now I'm using my cell phone.
Good.
When it works. Good.
And
We-
Lisa, I'm used to seeing you, Siegel, with the pictures of the little ones behind you.
Who?
Lisa Siegel.
Ah,
Yeah, but she doesn't have the little ones behind her today.
Okay,
Must be in a
I'm not
different-
sure anyone else is gonna be
I
joining.
don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
that's
you know, Sunday afternoon, they could have gone out for an early dinner,
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Don't we wish?
yeah, right.
So, good.
the
You're
food
good.
Thursday night was really
Harry.
Harry Cohen.
Yeah, hi Ruth. How are you?
Good to see
Hi, Harry.
Hey, hello everybody. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
I brought cookies for everybody.
Yay!
Thank you.
Yum, yum.
I've got chocolate brownies here.
Yay. Okay, so I think we're gonna start. It's now 4:03, so we'll start. And hi, Eve. Still working on getting connected. Okay. So we're not a big group. So far I see there's only 13 people. So I'm not gonna ask everybody to mute yourselves because I do want this to be somewhat interactive. But if we find that everybody has something to say and everyone's talking over each other and we can't really hear because Zoom makes it a little bit more difficult, then we'll go into the chat feature where everybody will mute themselves. And then if you have a question, you could type a chat and then I'll read out the question. But if we get to that, I'll explain how to do it if there's anyone who doesn't know how. So I want to welcome you. Thank you for coming today. As you all know, I'm Heidi Cohen Tarloff, Rob's wife, Evan, Nicole, and Sean's mother. And I don't know, I'm everybody's something, but you all know me from synagogue. And I am a clinical licensed social worker. I work at Jewish Social Service Agency, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And what I was planning on doing before this whole situation was I was going to do a Kiddush conversation next week on mental health or mental illness, facts and myths. But I was talking to some people at B'nai Shalom, and I thought, well, instead of doing something like that, maybe we should talk more about the coronavirus and grief and trauma and self-care and things like that. Because what we're starting to see at JESA, and which I knew we were going to, was an increase now in depression, in anxiety, in fear, in grief. We don't realize, but a lot of us are grieving. We may be thankfully in our homes, some people are working, some people are getting their paychecks, we're getting food and everything else. And that's all wonderful, but deep inside, there's a sense of loss based on on the uncertainty of what's going to be happening, the way life was before, when you could just walk out, you didn't need the masks, you didn't have to worry, is this person standing next to me asymptomatic, and things like that. So there really is, I'm hearing a lot of a deep sense of loss from people. And I thought it would be a great idea to give everybody a chance to talk about how they're feeling and how they're experiencing this situation. And then I have a list of self-care strategies that I'd like to share with you afterwards. So that things that you could do when you start feeling the anxiety starting to build, or that you could share with other people. If your anxiety is not building, that's great, but maybe you could share it with someone else. Because I strongly believe that we all know at least one or two people who are really, really suffering during all this time. And I'm not talking about suffering, sick suffering. I'm talking about suffering with the pain and the fear and the anxiety. So before we start with that, I just kind of wanted to go around and ask you guys to just throw out in as orderly a way that we could on Zoom, but to just maybe throw out some adjectives or some feelings that you're experiencing during this COVID-19 pandemic. Anybody?
Okay.
Fear of the unknown.
So we have, you know what I'm going to do? Hang on one second. Let me know if you could see this. This is my first time trying this. So hold on one second.
Okay, now she can hear.
Should I say it?
Can you see the whiteboard?
Yes.
Yay! Okay. I'm telling you, Ed, I could talk. I was saying this morning, presenting and talking, I could do like breathing. When it comes to the computer and the technology, my heart starts to race. So let's see if we could do this. So one, I got frustration. Okay, anybody else?
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Loneliness. Not being
Loneliness.
able to
You
talk
want to elaborate on that a little bit?
How about uncertainty?
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Oops.
Discipline. How do you discipline yourself?
So self-discipline.
Yes.
Now you're all going to see how I'm a talk therapist, I don't write a lot, so my spelling might not be
How
correct.
about fear?
I'm sorry?
Fear.
Fear. Yep. Any others?
Stress.
Stress.
Anger.
Anger. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about anger a little bit also, because anger is really an emotion that comes from other emotions that we're feeling. For example, if you're really angry and you get down to the bottom of it, there are elements of depression there as well. So when you're feeling, we'll get into the anger piece today, but that was a good one.
Yes, sadness.
Sadness. Oops.
Isolation.
Okay.
Loneliness.
I've got loneliness, sadness, isolation.
Any others? Okay, well, I will say that all these are very real, and they're very, this is going to be the problem with the whiteboard. I can't see everyone's faces now with the whiteboard. There you are. Okay. Do you still see the whiteboard?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about all these different feelings that we're all experiencing. Frustration. Whoever said frustration, do you want to share a little bit about what you're going through and what the frustration is?
It's me, Heidi. Can you hear me?
I could.
Okay. I guess frustration in people around you that are maybe in other states that are giving up and just don't care anymore, so they're going out. So you either think to yourself, am I being neurotic? Will I be okay? Or do I have the right to be angry at my loved ones who are tired of being stuck inside, that they're just going out and not being as vigilant as I am?
That's a huge frustration. And these people are, does anybody else feel this? Is anybody else sort of,
Yes.
feeling that as well? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, there's lots of people walking around here in leisure that don't have their mask on, and we have to cross over onto the other side of the road because they are either walking without the mask, and some of them are in parties sitting outside. And they don't
It's a
care.
huge frustration. And, it kind of leads it causes anger for towards the next person, because it takes away our sense of control, or we think so. We're going to talk about getting back a sense of control. But this whole pandemic and the way some people think it's not real, it can't hurt me, I don't feel like being in the house anymore, and things like that. It makes those of us who don't want to get this virus, who wants this virus to go away, it makes us feel like we don't have any sense of control. And that's very frustrating, because there's nothing worse than feeling disempowered because of somebody else. And we're going to talk, when I do self-care, we're going to talk about what we could do to gain back some of our own control, because unfortunately, we can't control what other people do or say or feel, but we could control our reactions, and we could control how we take care of ourselves. But absolutely. Anxiety, anybody?
Give me a keyboard.
Well, it's a horrible sickness to have, and the anxiety, if you catch it, no one can come in the hospital with you, and you go there by yourself, and then by yourself. That's a terrible anxiety to have when you're by yourself and you're sick.
Yeah, and I would think that goes with the fear. I mean, I think that's terrifying. So knowing that, when you're sick, you want your loved ones around, you want to be hugged, you want to be held and everything like that, and to not be able to, it's very scary and very anxiety provoking. Loneliness, anybody?
Well, we don't see them, but at a distance. We can't hug them, or we just see them at a distance.
We see them on FaceTime all the time. One to kiss them, and you can't backwards and forwards to New York all the time, and now we can't.
So that I can put my feet on, my legs are.
Yes, not being able to visit. In full disclosure, my dad is in an independent living home in Montreal right now, and I can't even cross the border to be able to stand outside the apartment to wave to him while he's on his balcony. So and he's very, very lonely, because he's like by himself. So yeah, we're all feeling that sense of loneliness, that we're human beings, and as human beings, we need the social interaction, we need the touch, we need all that kind of stuff, and it's causing a lot of mental health issues not having it, one being a severe case of loneliness.
I think anxiety would go with uncertainty too. When is this going to be over? And how can we react when it is over? And will we be certain it is over or isn't it over?
Right. Right.
Yep. I agree.
Definitely.
Is it gonna reoccur?
I would say there's another problem too. See, we all are being kept inside. We are keeping ourselves safe. When we do go out, we are going to pick up other jobs like it's the first time we're going outside. And that can be very dangerous too. It's not only coronavirus, but I'm sure there's plenty of other viruses we'll pick up, seeing we keeping ourselves close contact with ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. So
Possibly.
I think uncertainty for me is what I think I'm feeling all of the above in combination. And for me, the uncertainty has to do primarily with the fact that I'm living in our condo alone, and my wife Sylvia is at the friend's nursing home. So I have not been able to see her since March the 5th. And in addition to there being no visitors for a period of 3 weeks, there were no private aides allowed. And Irene, who is Sylvia's private aide, was not allowed to be with her. And Sylvia is incapacitated and not able, so she had to depend on the staff to do everything for her. So, and not being able to be there or talk to her or hold her hand or give her a hug is unbelievably to the depths of, I don't know what, like the depths of a deep, deep ditch. And so on the one hand, I'm doing okay. I've got food to eat. I've got a roof over my head. I've got clothing and I have toilet paper.
Yay!
For me. But my feelings and my fears and my loneliness, my uncertainty bring me to the point where I start thinking, will Sylvia and I ever see each other in person again? So that, that to me borders bordering on depression. But
absolutely.
But I'm holding it together so far. Sleeping is, some nights I get a good night's sleep. There are other nights where I barely sleep at all. So,
are you Harry?
Yes.
Are you finding that your emotions are going up and down, sort of like waves?
No, I'm finding that most of the time I have a good grip on reality. I know that this is beyond my control, this virus, and I'm going to have to live with it. In the early part of the virus, it was a lot more rocky for me than it is now. So in the last couple of weeks, I feel like I have climbed out of the pit to the edge of the pit. I just hope I don't fall back into it, but I'm sort of, I would say I'm stable now.
Okay. You know what you're going through now, right? Just as I said at the beginning of this, what you're going through is grief. Right. We don't always grieve when somebody is no longer with us. We grieve we grieve over things that are lost. Right. And that sense of security and that sense of being, with those that we love, when we can't do it, we start grieving. So Harry, I'm going to offer, if you want, I would be happy to talk to you some more offline, like off this Zoom.
Okay.
If you need it, I'm not going to push myself on you, but I would love to be a resource for you should you need it.
Okay. So,
and we'll talk more.
right. And so before we end, you'll have to let me know how to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. When we're done, don't hang up. We will talk about how to get in touch with me, and you and I could talk. Okay?
Great.
Okay. I'm hoping, these are difficult topics to talk about because it is grief and it is loneliness and it is sadness and isolation and things like that. But what I am hoping that comes out of this hour that we're together, as long as we're together, is a bit of a sense of validation for everybody who's participating, that we have these really strong emotions and that we're not alone. And you can watch TV and they have these beautiful slogans, that say, we're together, but we're not together, but we're together, whatever it is. We even have a slogan in our house. It says, we're not stuck at home, we're safe at home. Mm-hmm. So, and that we have that all over the house to remind us that we're not stuck at home. But the truth is that when you turn off that TV or when you walk away from the slogans, we are once again alone in our houses with this uncertainty. And what's important for these groups is that we all talk together to validate that we really are not alone, that we're all together in these feelings and we will get through it. It's just different. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so the thing is, in addition to the uncertainty, some of us have a stronger feeling of insecurity because of all these things that you have listed.
Okay, so can you, you don't have to, but would you want to talk a little bit more about that insecurity a little bit?
Well, the thing I'm referring to is the insecurity as it relates to what's going on in society, what's going on with the economy. For those of us who are retired and have pensions, we don't know what's going to happen to those. And it's the kind of thing where in the field of economics, we really can't spend our way out of this, even though some Congress people think you can. And in the long run, I don't know what's going to happen.
That is a very good point. The insecurity, the economy, financially, people are really struggling. That's a very, very good point. Obviously, I can't get this aligned, so we'll just have words all over the page.
All right. It's hard to know who to believe about everything.
Right. Right. You hear a lot of stories, and that's going to be one of my strategies, which is really difficult to do, but we all have to get off the news.
Right.
We need to find a trustworthy source to get an update in the morning and to get maybe an update at night of anything that happened during the day. But you have to turn the CNN, the Fox News, the everything off, because we're getting mixed signals, we're getting mixed information, and it's causing a lot of people a lot of severe anxiety.
Can I say something? I personally look forward to hearing Andrew Como.
Yes.
He makes sense. He has a heart and he has a brain.
Right.
I think he's a very excellent person to look up to, and I really make sure to try to be there for his hour or half-hour talk. It helps me deal with the situation.
Great, thanks for sharing that.
That self-discipline. I think it's so important to understand that we have to control our emotions and think about other people, not just about ourselves. When you go in a hallway, when you go outside, to wear the mask and to wear the gloves and to care about other people and act with respect. And a lot of people don't have that.
And that's, I think, that goes to the point of of what Eve was saying with the frustration is that a lot of people don't have that. They don't have that respect for other people, which is very frustrating.
And they care about themselves, and you just have to realize that you have to find the strength in your own self to do the right thing as best you can. And it makes a big difference. So when I hear the Holocaust stories and I think about my mother growing up in Poland by herself at the time that there was right before all the problems happened and what they went through, I feel that we're very lucky in the United States. This is a terrible period for all of us, but we can get the strength to do the right thing the best that we possibly can. You have to dig in deep and care about others besides yourself.
Thank you for sharing that. That's really important, very important for us to take away. Anybody else want to share anything from this list?
To tie on to what Ruth just said, the lack of real information. If you read the Washington Post every day, DC had 7 COVID-related deaths yesterday. They don't tell you where they were, nursing homes or what, and they've locked down the city for months for 7 COVID deaths. I want to know where they were. Montgomery County's still on lockdown. I want to know where the deaths are. I want real data. I want the kind of stuff Dr. Burke says. I want, a binder with information. I want to know area by area, nursing homes versus wherever, so I can make an informed decision whether I can go past the mailbox, buddy.
I think.
Hold on, Jan. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to get to you next. But that is a very important thing, is the fear of the unknown. We wrote down uncertainty. We wrote down all these things. There is that fear of the unknown, and it's hard to find a place to get away from that. We use our homes as our sanctuary, and now our homes are our workplaces, place where we live, our gyms, our disasters. If you have kids who are constantly leaving dishes and everything all over the house. And I mean, we're in this one area, and it's hard to look for a way to escape all of this. And you don't know where to go to escape it because of that unknown. It's very scary.
But
just to speak to what he was saying, if you go onto the Montgomery County website, they will tell you zip code by zip code where the numbers are.
That's correct.
So that information is absolutely out there. And depending on what sources you're looking at, it's my mother's at Riderwood. They actually broadcast their numbers 3 times a week so that I know that there were no new cases in independent living in this last week, which, so the numbers are there. You just have to figure out where to ask for it, where to see it. So I don't know about DC. And now
on the county website?
Montgomery County website will tell you by zip code.
They will tell you by zip code, and you will know all.
The zip code covers a large area.
It does, but it's certainly narrowing it down.
But that's narrowing it at least down somewhat, rather than saying all of Montgomery County.
Well, there's an issue of privacy here. If you're living in a private home and somebody in your home has the virus, I don't know if we all have the right to know that somebody in that particular home has the virus. I mean, I don't know how, maybe, yes, a zip code is a large area, but look, Leisure World has 8,000 residents, okay? So there are statistics about Leisure World, the number of cases, number of deaths, but it's only in terms of Leisure World. It's not a particular apartment that you can identify by some family name. And so I'm not sure it should be any different than that.
So this is kind of where we need to and I'm gonna, in a minute, I'm gonna share my screen with the with strategies of what we can do for self-care, because this goes into there's only so much control we have. We're not gonna know if our next door neighbor has COVID-19. I was sick last week with bronchitis. Oh, it was terrifying to think that I was coughing, but it was bronchitis. I did not have COVID-19. Everything was fine. But my family had to do what it took to take care of themselves, because they can't control if I get bronchitis, so they had to wash their hands and do all the things that they needed to do. So there is a bit there. You could go on the Montgomery County website and you could get zip codes and things like that to have an overall idea, but we still have to take an element of responsibility for ourselves.
Right.
Roberta.
Heidi?
Yeah.
Heidi, I just want to say something. It's good to know what the numbers are, but I think you have to use your own common sense to think what is good for you personally. Some people don't have underlying conditions. They can go to the grocery, they can take a walk around their block. Other people who have compromising conditions may want to take more caution. And so it's really all common sense. I was out 2 weeks ago, Saturday, beautiful day. And everybody was out, not wearing masks. I said, you know what? I'm going to go in my backyard, get some fresh air. I'm going back in my house. And I wear a mask when I even go to my mailbox because I have a compromising lung disease. So my fear is if I get it, I may not make it out of it. So I choose to self-contain myself. But I think that's everybody's individual choice.
Even if you're looking at numbers, you've got a lot of people that aren't tested and a lot of people that are asymptomatic carriers. Either way,
like
so you're
certain
never gonna
people
know.
that call me from my driveway and then I have to disinfect my driveway.
Oh, there you go, Ron. I'm coming over now.
There is that funny meme on Facebook where it says, I'll call you back in 3 hours. I'm wiping down my grocery bags. It's like, we do, but there's a really good meme on Facebook, I do have to say, that says, if you don't like the feeling of wearing a mask, you're going to hate wearing the ventilator even more.
Right. That's for sure. Right.
So that's what I sort of, when I'm walking and nobody's wearing a mask or whatever, I sort of say it loud enough, low enough that it should be under my breath, but loud enough that maybe they can hear me. So what we're seeing here is everybody is feeling the same way. There's this sense of uncertainty. There's this sense of a lack of control. There's fear, there's anxiety, there's the unknown, there's financial issues. It's a pretty scary time. The bottom line is that we have got to take care of ourselves the best that we could. And now I'm going to share my screen. I wrote up,
shows the microphone.
It starts with this. Well, it ends with this. But how cute are these puppies?
Adorable.
Okay, something like looking at a picture of puppies, or I have here this little polar bear cub.
Oh, that's so cute.
So everybody in Zoom right now is smiling, even for a second. I have been able to enter into your minds with something a little bit more relaxing, a little bit less anxiety provoking, something that'll put a smile on your face. So one of the strategies that I am suggesting to everybody is, and I know that it sounds a little out there, but if you could get a picture of something that makes you smile, not just a picture of your family. The picture of your family, of course, makes you feel good. but something out of the blue that will make you smile. And when you're feeling that frustration or that sadness or that loneliness, go look at the picture. Take a few minutes to be in the present and smile at that picture, because being in the present is key to help us through all this anxiety and frustration and everything.
Oh, I see. Healthcare during quarantine.
All right, so I have here, I'm trying to move you guys over so I could see. All right, so did I do this? Did it work? Do you see it?
You're
Yay!
getting good.
Yes, great.
Good job.
So
Heidi.
excited. So I have this, and I will be happy to ask Jen, or I'll do it, where I could put it up on the website, the BSO website. I can email it to you, whatever you want. A lot of it sounds like it's common sense, but
Go
sometimes
outside
you
at least
just
once a
need
day.
someone to
Go
remind
outside
you to
at
do
least
it.
once a day, take a walk.
So we start with sticking to a routine. I'm working from home. I don't think I've ever worked so hard. I never want to work from home again. I want to go back to the office. But in the meantime, it is what it is. And I make sure that I stick to a routine. I am up. I am on the computer. I take my shower. I brush my teeth. I go and I work. I take my lunch. I take my snack. And by 5 o'clock, I am offline, as though I'm going from my office to my house. I take a walk because I used to use my drive from the office to my house as a way to decompress. I don't have that because now my house is my office too. So I take a short walk around the neighborhood or something like that. And then I go in and into the house and we make dinner and we watch some TV or whatever. I'm sticking to my routine, and I find that that's really helpful for me. Now, I'm lucky enough to be working, yes or no. Some people are not working. So you still want to find yourself a routine. Go to sleep and wake up at your normal times. Find something to do, and we're going to go through this list of different things that you can do during the day to sort of ease on the isolation and the loneliness.
What's an ADL?
An ADL is your, oh my God. Okay, so words are escaping me, but it's when you brush your teeth, you're taking care of yourself, brush your teeth, take a shower, your hygiene and things like that. Yeah, your hygiene. And now ADL is escaping me, so
Activities of daily living.
What?
Activities of daily living.
Yeah, thank you. There you go.
Oh, that's what ADL means. Activity.
That is, okay. Going outside once a day. We have to get that vitamin D. I know many people are on vitamin D pills and everything, but there's nothing like a little bit of vitamin D from the sun to help with depression. That is a proven fact. Also, fresh air helps with depression, a proven fact. So not everybody is comfortable going for a walk around the neighborhood. Go stand on your porch, put a chair on your porch, put a chair on your deck, open your windows. I tell my dad all the time, and he's in Montreal. It was snowing there the other day, believe it or not. And I'm like, Daddy, put on a winter jacket, take your chair and sit on your balcony, because we need to have, the exercise is important to walk, but the fresh air is really, really important to help us maintain a lower level of depression or anxiety. Moving, dance, march in place, do whatever you could do. If it's too difficult for you, walk from one room to the other and then back again. Just make sure, be conscious. We need to be present in our thoughts of what's happening to us right now. And you want to be conscious. Am I sitting and watching too much TV? Am I sitting and just not doing anything? We need to move. I know that we, in my house now, I don't get the, oh my God, Mom, you're embarrassing anymore, but I put on karaoke and sing and dance all over the house. You know? And it helps. First of all, I don't care if anybody sees me, but no one sees me. So there you go. Start a long-term project. Okay, I have a few ideas here. Learning a new skill, puzzles, painting, drawing, reorganizing a bookshelf, cleaning out a junk drawer. If you don't have the energy to do your closet, sit down in your kitchen with your junk drawer and open it and look and see, I don't really need this anymore. I don't use this anymore. Let me reorganize it. It's a long-term project.
Why don't you old
I'm
photos?
sorry? What?
Look at old photos and photos, pictures.
Right.
Yes.
Right. We have so many photos and boxes and things like that. Go through them, organize them. Anything that keeps us in the present. We're not sitting there and worrying about the coronavirus when we're sitting and looking at pictures and putting them into albums or putting them into through
Groups.
years and things like that.
Right.
So I started learning new songs on the piano. I decided I want to learn some new songs. So I took my computer and I put on YouTube, and now I'm learning how to play the piano. Well, I know how to play the piano. I'm learning these new songs. You know, anything that brings your mind away from what's causing all this angst and depression. Connecting, we all know, is key. Calling friends and family, organizing a virtual get-together, reaching out to old friends. We all have people that in our very busy daily lives we don't speak to. Now's the perfect time. FaceTime with them, call them, whatever it takes. Just reach out to new friends, to old friends. I'm sure everybody would be very happy to hear from you.
Yes.
As I said before, limit how much news you watch.
Limit how much
I'll tell you an example. In January, well, the end of December, beginning of January, my boys went on birthright, and it was when they were starting with, it was Iran or Iraq. I don't remember what it was that was going on in January. Who can remember? I don't even know what day it is anymore. But my father called me over and over saying, I can't believe you're sending them to Israel with all this stuff going on. And I said, Daddy, you've got to turn CNN off completely, because you don't get the full picture. You really don't. And it just causes more and more fear in us. Taking control of what you can. Now this, I bolded number 7, because this is the big one. As we were talking about before, there are things that we cannot control out there. We can't control people not wearing masks. We're not going to become the mask police. You know, we're not going to become the 10 and over gathering police where we call 911 every time we see something that's not right. We've got to take control of what we can. So washing your hands, self-isolating, practicing social distancing, don't touch your face. Like Roberta was saying, she wanted to take a walk, but there were too many people without masks, so she went onto her deck. I mean, it's empowering to do what we feel we can do to take care of ourselves. And that's how we get back our power, and that's how we get back our control. Mindfulness activities. So I'm going to go over some of these with you guys, but does anybody have any questions or anything from some of these strategies that I've already put out there? And I just want to let everybody know that these are not just, it's not psychobabble. These are things that people have been doing in the last 2 months to see if their mood, if their mindset has changed. Because we as therapists feel very helpless because people are really nervous, they're really scared, they're really depressed, and we're in the same boat of the uncertainty and the unknown. So it's like, what do we do to help everybody? So these are things that really have been tested to help and have helped people's mindset.
Heidi? When the coronavirus became more rampant, a similar list of activities was printed by a group from Coming of Age. And I read through, I'll send you, I don't have to send you a copy. It's on the inside of the door that I go through as I leave my home. And you guys obviously had a conversation. The only 2 or 3 differences are modifications we have to make. I can't do a long term because to me, long term sounds like a long term. But when you talk about a drawer or a single shelf or a single thing, those are within our time frame, right? What they said was at one point, speak to someone for 30 minutes a day. And the other thing they said was, if you cannot get out of your home, much of what you said, open your windows for 30
There
minutes.
you go.
Get
Yeah.
that fresh air.
Hi, Heidi.
If I walk out of my balcony, I fall down 5 flights.
Okay.
You know, but
Okay.
so much of the same. And now you're handling a different area, which is very important. Thank you.
Great.
Heidi?
Of course. Cindy?
Yes, there's 2 things that I wanted to add to your list of things that you can do that people often say, oh, I can't paint or I can't do this. There are paint by numbers that you can get. They have all different levels. It's very relaxing and fun. It's like a puzzle coming together, and you don't have to be very skilled to do it. And the other thing is there are opportunities for different generations to bridge the gap. And reading, if you like to read stories, if you want to do something like that, to have a story hour, to create a story hour, even through the synagogue, I can create a Zoom and you can do a story time. If you want to have story with Ruth and pick a time, 4:00 on Thursdays, and say the book you're going to read and what age group it's appropriate for. We can bring some of these young kids who are also home and out of their routine together and different things and collaborate on making everybody feel a little more connected.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cindy.
Cindy, I'd love to do that.
Roberta, send me a note. I will do it. Yes, absolutely.
Heidi, this is Jen. Also, I've been playing Mahjong online with my mom.
Oh, I didn't know.
Been a lot of fun. So if that's something that people would like to do through BSO, just let me know and we can get rooms set up for, or it's pretty fun. You still have to have a card, and it may not be kosher through the league, but I can scan mine and send it to you if you don't have one.
They do cards back 3 years too, so you don't have to have the most current card.
Harriet and I will do it.
But yeah,
Jen, Harriet and I are going to play Mahjong with you.
Fun, very fun.
You can do canasta online also. With both of those, you have to join the Mahjong site or canasta site.
We're just not very good, Heidi.
There's also adult coloring books that are really good.
Right. So I'd like to kind of get through this because everybody has great ideas that I think everybody should hear about, because this is just a really narrow, small amount of stuff. So I'm almost done. And then I would love to open it up for everybody to share what they've been doing. Jan, you had something you wanted to say though.
No, I was just on the same thing of Mahjong, as we've actually been playing Mahjong, but setting up a split screen and looking at each other and chatting with each other over Zoom while we're playing Mahjong online.
Great. Thank you. So we have to remember that all these activities, what are they doing? They're bringing us into the present, and that's what mindfulness is. So if you think to yourself, when you eat, do you really think about what the fork feels like in your hand, what the fork feels like in your mouth, what's the texture of the food, can you smell it even though you're eating it? That's all what we call mindfulness, really focusing on what's happening around you. So when you sort of feel that you're going down that rabbit hole, or you're starting to get really anxious, really frustrated or anything, one strategy is called grounding. And what you do is you're going to use all your senses. So you look for 5 things that you could see, 4 things that you could hear, 3 things that you could smell, in any order that you want. And you really focus on those senses, you know, and if your mind starts to drift a little bit, you go back to those senses. And what it's doing is bringing you into the present. So you might have a blanket that's really soft. Focus on that blanket, you know, smell it, touch it. What is it? It's soft. Well, soft could be different on different materials. What does that feel like? And really focus on whatever it is so that you're bringing yourself to the present. A self-hug. We are human beings. And I know that, you know, everybody's like, yeah, hug yourself or something. But if you put your hand under your arm and you put your other hand over your shoulder, okay, that's a sensory activity that you actually don't feel like you're hugging yourself. You actually feel like somebody is hugging you. So you have one hand under your arm, one hand over your shoulder, and squeeze. And I know nobody, oh, thank you, Harriet. Nobody wants to really try it, but I know you're all going to try it when you get off of Zoom. But if you squeeze, it feels like a hug from somebody else. Very important, because we need that touch. Reframing, let's find something that's positive. We could find things that are positive. You know, in New York City, they're saying that they could hear the birds on Madison Avenue and Fifth Avenue and everything. You know, California has less pollution because there's less traffic. You know, we could find something positive, whatever it takes to help us alleviate some of that anxiety that we have. In one of the resources that I have, I'm going to show you, there's guided relaxation and meditation. That's also very helpful, and I'll show you the resource. And the last thing that's really important for self-care is self-compassion. You've got to give yourself permission to feel. We all act differently to different situations. It's okay to feel tired, it's okay to feel scared, and it's okay to feel sad. We are grieving what was. It's not helpful anymore to say, if before the graduation party that I was going to throw for my daughter, I would have done this. That's not helpful, because you can't do that. So why focus on that? Bring it to the present. This is what I'm going to do. But we're grieving what we would have done, and it's okay. If somebody isn't feeling so bad or something like that, and you are, it doesn't make either of you right or wrong. We are allowed to feel. We are human beings. We have to take things one day at a time. And if you can't, you must seek professional help. Please, I implore you to seek professional help. If you're feeling you're losing your motivation, you're trying strategies, it's not working, you're constantly crying, or your mood swings are up and down, or anything that's out of the ordinary, I'm asking you to please seek professional help. So before I open it up to everybody, I just want you to see that I have resources here. This helpingguide.org/articles has a whole bunch of stuff about things that I was just talking about today. The Wen Center for Loss and Healing.org. They have a whole article on the coronavirus and living alone and things like that. It's not a lot of stuff that you haven't heard from me and probably haven't heard from other people. It's been going on for 2 months already. But what it is validating. It makes us see, oh my God, I'm not alone in this. I'm not the only one, and there are people out there who could really help. I put Jewish Social Service Agency, of course, because I must put, Jewish Social Service Agency. And there is a national helpline that you could call, and they will talk to you. If you're 24/7, you could call them, you know, in the middle of the night, you don't feel like calling your friend, you're feeling kind of sad. you could always give them a call. And always, I'm putting this out there, anybody can call me, text me, email me, anything. I will be happy to either talk you through whatever, or I will be happy to try to connect you with the right resources.
Thank
So
you.
that's my list that I will share with everybody. But before everybody hangs up, because we have a little bit of time left, I just wanted to see if you guys had any questions for me, or if anybody had any other ideas that we could all share. The one thing that I do want you to take away from all of this is that, yeah, it's scary, it's uncertain, we feel helpless, we feel hopeless. These are all very real and normal feelings that we're all going through, but everybody is going through it, and there's help out there.
Heidi?
Yeah.
Good program, very good program.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you very much.
So
So-
Heidi,
My pleasure.
how do we get
Berta?
your text address and your email address and your phone number or contact?
Okay, so let me give you my email. It's a little easier. It's HID as in dog, COH@yahoo.com.
Okay.
So definitely, Harry, get in touch with me, and you and I will talk, and we'll figure stuff out.
Okay.
Heidi, I'd like to mention something. I think it's a great program. I'm sure we all want to thank you for putting this on.
Oh, here's Fred. Hi, Fred.
Thank you.
And
So if anyone wants to share anything with, you have an idea for a program or a discussion topic that you want someone to talk on, please let Cindy know or let Heidi know. And we want to really speak on the topics that matter to everyone at this room and in the community. And if anyone also wants to be a speaker on something.
Beat me to it, Fred.
What's that?
You beat me to it. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
And just to
That's good.
If I could just add that if there's anything, if there's a topic on mental health or mental illness or anything that you all want to hear more about, I will be happy to do another, well, it's not Kiddush conversation, but another one of these. I'd be happy to do that. So just let me know.
This was very good, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Heidi. Also, this is Jen again. If anybody needs to get in touch with Heidi or even the rabbi for pastoral care, or if you need anything like that, please also know that the office line, the office phone number is being answered during the week. Just call. I'm answering the phone. So just call that number and I will get you in touch with the Chazan or the rabbi or whomever you'd like to speak with. And I can also get you in touch with Heidi directly if you need. So the office is still available for you all. And Heidi, this was wonderful. Thank you so much for doing this for everybody.
Thank you. And thank you for all your help, Jen.
Heidi.
This morning was fun.
Yes, Roberta.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much. This was a wonderful session. And I think our synagogue in general has really done a great job of keeping us together and giving us things to do daily and evening. And for those people who like to read and can't get to the library, there is an app called Hoopla, Hoopla. And you can get all kinds of audio books, and it's really great because you can listen to it and you can still do other things in the house while you're listening to the story.
Great. Hoopla.
Hoopla. All you need is your library card, the number on it, and you then join. I guess it asked you for certain information. I forgot already. But anyway,
Heidi?
It's a nice thing to have.
Great. Thank
Heidi,
you.
another thing is any of the activities that we have going on virtually, if you would like to invite your family to join us, please feel free to invite them. And everything we have is, even though we have a secure password, I think that it's fair to say that we do a lovely Havdalah every Saturday night. It's 5 to 7, maybe 10 minutes with a little bit of chit chat at the front and the back, but it's a really nice way to end Shabbat and start the week. And it's a very varied group. So there are things going on a lot, and there are things that you can include family members if you wanted to come together.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Can I add one activity to your, similar to cleaning out your drawers? Write things
I think everybody
down.
has to clean their
I
drawers. That's a
know,
big one.
I didn't phrase that right. Write things down about your past and what you remember about the previous generation, because I'm telling my great nieces and nephews things that they never knew about my brother.
Oh.
And it'll be lost. I'm in contact with one of my cousins there's only one first cousin remaining on my mother's side. They just had twins who just celebrated their 21st birthday.
Wow.
I never knew them.
Oh, wow.
And I had lost total contact with her. I kept in contact with one member of Phil Pohl's congregation, but I never knew that. And just to end on a happy note, my grandson graduated today.
Mazel tov.
Great.
He had his drive-through graduation.
It all counts.
And his beard is worse than mine.
The diploma's just as good, Ron. The diploma's just as good.
Is someone calling me?
Steve.
Yes. Our daughter Sarah got her MSW from Catholic University yesterday.
Yay! Congratulations.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Very nice.
Oh my God,
All right.
You know, we could even do, once a week or something like that in the middle of the day, break up
Good
my
and welfare.
work. We could do a little like social, have tea or something all together. I'll talk to Cindy about maybe setting that up, and we could just, once a week at a certain time for an hour, we could all sit down and have, an afternoon tea together.
You know what?
That'd be fun.
I have to say, I'm sorry I came in late. I forgot, and then the link that I had didn't work, but I found you. But I was a mess the first probably month. No, I can't talk again. But seeing people and doing these things, and I have a regular happy hour on Friday nights. I have been doing service on Saturday morning. It's people, the more opportunities, and I have to give the show credit for opening a lot of that up. And if you haven't seen the email, if you're in book club or are interested, we're actually going to meet on the 31st.
Right.
Right.
Don't know that we'll meet after that, but we're going to meet on the 31st.
All right. And we'll see you then.
But one thing that keeps me happy, being a grandparent, is every morning I send each of my 3 grandchildren a good morning with a little image that says happy day or a rainbow. And they respond to me sometimes later in the day after they've done their school time. And that keeps me happy. Putting together a photo book of, the family. I've had hundreds of photos in boxes. I've started putting them in categories. And tonight I'm baking mandel bread. Wish I could give you some.
Leave it on the porch, Roberta. We'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna bake mandel bread.
Curbside pickup.
Heidi, can I thank you so much again for just being so flexible? I'm glad you're feeling better and we're able to come back and to be able to be flexible with this morning's Zoom snafu. And I'm really, really happy to see so many people turn out, even with a change in time. And this is probably a really good time to do something a Sunday afternoon at 4.
So, yeah.
But I think that this was really just a really worthwhile and very important program. And I personally want to thank you for bringing this and making yourself available always to the congregation.
It is my pleasure.
Just
Thanks.
plug in also that Schick delivery was really good.
Oh, yeah.
That on Thursday or whatever day it was really good.
Good. Yeah. So Shuk is coming back this Thursday, and they've added 2 new things for the people who are not happy with the fried food or want it a different day. You can actually buy the falafel mix and fry your own at home. So that's on their menu now. And they also added some cookies that you can make yourself if you want. So they're working, and I actually talked to him about coming and doing a presentation on eating a plant-based food and the benefits and the traces back to Israel on that. So hopefully he'll find some time. He sounded really interested. So.
They also have rice that I didn't see before. Instead of like fries, they have rice as a side dish.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'll have to check back. So yeah, they'll be back. And don't forget a drive-in movie on Sunday night. And if you have kids, we're doing a zoofari, a little Kari safari, a drive-through zoo.
Oh,
So-
Kari. I
Yeah.
thought it was
Kari.
here.
No, Car-E Safari.
Oh.
That's on the 31st.
You're very creative, Cindy.
I you know.
Awesome.
I'm gonna give her a raise.
What'd you say, Fred? Wait, I didn't hear that. What'd you say, Fred?
We're gonna give you a raise.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Animals for the safari and 2 mystery guests. So
yes.
Let's see.
I don't know. Yeah, so so that should be fun. And again, spread the word. Actually, BSO will make 10% on that activity, so it actually can turn into a little bit of a fundraiser for us. So if you have grandchildren in the area, tell them. If you have friends who have grandchildren in the area, tell them.
Is that activity?
So before everybody hangs up, I'd like you all to give yourselves your hug. One hand under your arm and one hand over your shoulder and squeeze.
And squeeze.
Doesn't it feel like a real hug?
Right. We do that at my Bone Builders online class.
My goal is after this to be able to actually reach there and do that.
Roberta, what's your Bone Builders? What is that?
Bone Builders, actually I do Bone Builders group at the library. They work on balance, on strength. It's an hour exercise class. And now that we can't go to the library to do it, they do it virtually. They have it on YouTube and also from the Kensington Library. Mondays and Wednesdays at 3:30, we do an hour's worth of exercise. And at the end, you hug yourself.
That's nice.
Great.
All right.
I see nobody wants to hang up, so we're going to get this social tea thing going pretty soon.
Okay, well, have a good
Bring me
night,
ideas.
everyone.
Thank you.
Stay
Thank you
safe.
again, Heidi.
Bye, everybody. Thank
Thanks, Heidi.
you.
Bye.
Thanks.